The Dean J. Television Show. Hosted by Dean Robinson. And now, Dean Robinson.
Question: why do conservative capitalist Christian Republicans in the United States really hate Black Lives Matter? Answer: Black Lives Matter was founded by 3 black lesbians. According to blacklivesmatter.com, the group was founded by Elisa Garza, Opal Tometi, and Patrisse Cullors. The website publishes an essay written by Garza titled "The Theft of Black Queer Women's Work." Garza says, "I was surprised when a community institution wrote asking us to provide materials and action steps for an art show they were curating entitled Our Lives Matter. When questioned about who was involved and why they felt the need to change the very specific call and demand around Black lives to Our Lives, I was told the artist decided it needed to be more inclusive of all people of color. I was even more surprised when, in the promotion of the event, one of the artists conducted an interview that completely erased the origins of their work, rooted in the labor and love of queer black women. When you design an event, campaign, etc., based on the work of queer black women, don't invite them to participate in shaping it, but ask them to provide materials and ideas for the next steps for said event. That is racism in practice. It's also heteropatriarchal. Straight men, unintentionally or intentionally, have taken the work of queer black women and erased our contributions. Perhaps if we were the charismatic black men many are rallying around these days, it would have been a different story. But being black queer women in this society, and apparently within these movements, tends to equal invisibility and non-relevancy. In case you're not paying attention, it appears that Black Lives Matter was founded by 3 black queer women in the United States of America. That's why conservative capitalist Christian Republicans in the US hate the group so much. I have to admit, I have a soft spot for black lesbians because I'm Butch Black, the mean man. Sports fans, it's about time somebody told you that the NFL is gay. Major League Baseball is gay. The NBA is gay. By gay, I mean homosexual. The word gay used to mean happy and joyous. So when people talked about the gay 90s, the 1890s, well, they were talking about this happy, joyous time. They weren't talking about a homosexual time in the 1890s. When you see the Flintstones, and they have the theme song talking about, we'll have a gay old time, well, they're not talking about a homosexual time. They're not talking about Fred making out with Barney. No, they're talking about happiness. But somewhere along the line in American history, gay came to be the word that means homosexual. It's just the way it works. Homosexual, let's break that word down. Homo means same. Sexual means sex. Homosexual means same sex. Professional sports and even amateur sports leagues in the United States of America are primarily same-sex organizations. Let's take a look at the NBA, the National Basketball Association. The NBA is a same-sex sports league for men only. The WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, was the women's version of a same-sex basketball league for women only. The NBA and the WNBA are homosexual sports league. They are same-sex sports organizations. The NFL, National Football League, is a same-sex football league that allows men only. There is no female version of the National Football League. The NFL is a homosexual sports organization. The NFL is gay, just like Major League Baseball, just like the National Hockey League. They don't allow female players, only men, same sex. That means professional sports, and most sports in the United States of America is gay by nature. So, the next time somebody accuses Disney and this Beauty and the Beast movie for pushing a gay agenda, well, you just let them know that it's ESPN that's pushing a gay agenda with all this same-sex sports they're broadcasting. And then you can let them know that ESPN is owned by Disney. Now, I don't know why it's Dean Robinson that has to bring you this stuff, and not Charles Barkley, and Shaquille O'Neal. Even James Brown, the hardest working man in sports broadcasting, he could be telling you this on CBS Sports, but no. It comes to Dean Robinson, Summit City Noise, to let you know that sports in the USA are gay.
You don't want to know as well, so don't ask me. I don't tell. Is it worth fighting for? Your chance to go to war. Why can't you let it be? Hey, LGBT. Look at me now in the military. In the military. Gaze at me now in the military. Gaze in the military. Love on me now in the military. Love in the military. Gaze at me now in the military. Gaze. You want equality. Now that much I can see. But how can wisdom be found in the military, baby? You've got the right to kill. Essential blood to spill. All for war to fill your will. War nations make me ill. Look at me now in the military. In the military. Gaze at me now in the military. Gaze in the military. Love on me now in the military. Love in the military. Gaze at me now in the military. Gaze in the military. Got people wanna kill for you. USA, what do you choose? Someday you may run out of men to kill and die and kill again. You've got the right to kill. Essential blood to spill. All the world to feel your will. War always seems to make me ill.
Why do conservative capitalist Christian Republicans in the United States love Milo Yiannopoulos so much? The Daily Beast says Milo Yiannopoulos is a beast. The 31-year-old boastfully gay Breitbart writer, or dangerous faggot, has quickly become a hero to young conservatives and libertarians for smacking down the ridiculous, out-of-control social justice warriors who troll college campuses. The Washington Post says Twitter permanently banned the conservative writer Milo Yiannopoulos as it cracked down on a wave of racist abuse targeting the Ghostbusters actor Leslie Jones. According to Bloomberg, Yiannopoulos gained his initial fame as the general in a massive troll war over misogyny in the video game world, known as Gamergate. He likes to brag that he's a bottom for tall black men, and that he used to hold a paint sample called Pharaoh's Gold 5 to men at clubs to see if they were dark enough to have sex with. Yiannopoulos says, "That's why I don't like Planned Parenthood. They kill all those black babies. In 20 years, they could be my harem." The New York Times says, with far-right groups edging into the mainstream with the rise of President Trump, self-described anti-fascists and anarchists are vowing to confront them at every turn and by any means necessary, including violence. In Berkeley, California, masked protesters set fires, smashed windows, and stormed buildings on the campus of the University of California to shut down a speech by Milo Yiannopoulos, an inflammatory Breitbart News editor and a right-wing provocateur. That followed a bloody melee in Seattle on Inauguration Day, when black-clad demonstrators, their faces concealed to minimize the risk of arrest, tried to prevent a speech by Mr. Yiannopoulos at the University of Washington, and a 34-year-old anti-fascist was shot and seriously wounded by a supporter of Mr. Yiannopoulos. But anarchists and anti-fascists, who often make up a small but disproportionately attention-getting portion of protesters, defend the mayhem they create as a necessary response to an emergency. Antifa means anti-fascist against fascism. It is an anonymous, violent gang or movement that inflicts chaos, personal injury, and destruction at otherwise peaceful protest demonstrations. Black Bloc, wearing matching black masks and clothes, is a routine tactic employed by the Antifa movement, which originated in Germany. International Business Times says Antifa combines radical left-wing and anarchist politics, revulsion at racists, sexists, homophobes, anti-Semites, and Islamophobes with the international anti-fascist culture of taking the streets and physically confronting the brown shirts of white supremacy, whoever they may be, Antifa NYC told The Nation last week. Antifa dates back much further than Trump and the rise of the alt-right. The movement began in Europe as a response to the rise of fascism in Europe in the 1930s. The New York Times says, yes, what the Black Bloc did last night was destructive to property, says Eric Larson, who has helped publicize anarchist protests. But do you just let someone like Milo go wherever he wants and spread his hate? The pro-Trump black tie party called the Deplorable took place in Washington, D.C. the night before Donald Trump's presidential inauguration. New York Mag says the Deplorable was a surprisingly queer event. Gateway pundit blogger Jim Hoft announced his website's first White House correspondent, Twinks for Trump photographer Lucian Wintrich, whom Hoff described as a gay victim of the New York City art world's gay mafia. Wintrich announced, "I'm going to be the youngest, gayest correspondent in the White House in history." Someone in the crowd shouted, "Our gays are better than their gays," while protesters with signs preaching feminism and resistance to fascism were being pepper sprayed outside the Deplorable. Spin reports, prior to Richard Spencer getting clocked in the face, the greatest viral moment to arise from the post-inauguration protest in Washington, D.C. was footage of a young boy admitting to starting a bonfire outside of noted alt-right, white nationalist hell shindig, the Deplorable, on Thursday night. "My name's Connor, and I actually kinda started this fire," said the 11-year-old boy to a Fox News reporter. "I felt like it, and because I'm just saying screw our president," he exclaimed. TMZ reports, Drew Carey's son is the mystery kid from the Trump protest who claimed he started a bonfire and yelled, "Screw our president." Comedian Drew Carey, star of The Drew Carey Show, and Whose Line Is It Anyway, is the host of The Price is Right on CBS. Zero Hedge says reports have been rolling in all evening of vicious mobs of violent protesters around Washington, D.C., attacking Donald Trump supporters in town for the inauguration, including people on their way to and from tonight's pre-inauguration Deplorable celebration held at the National Press Club building. One of the victims was 21-year-old Trump supporter and YouTube journalist James Alsop of Seattle, who was harassed and then punched on camera by members of the Antifa protest organization featured in the recent Project Veritas undercover sting. On YouTube, James Alsop says, "Out here at Deplorable, just got punched in the face by Antifa." In response to the Antifa Black Bloc destruction wreaked on the University of California, Berkeley, President Donald Trump issues a financial threat against the school on Twitter. If UC Berkeley does not allow free speech and practices violence on innocent people with a different point of view, no federal funds? The Daily Californian reports, according to campus spokesperson Dan Mogulof, for the fiscal year of 2015-2016, UC Berkeley students received $200 million in federal financial aid, in addition to $400 million for the campus's research enterprise. While the actions last night of a few, especially of those who had no affiliation to the campus, were reprehensible, I think it is important to not punish or even threaten to punish an entire public university system devoted to providing the public good of an equitable education, says Will Morrow, the president of Associated Students of University of California. California's Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom replied to Trump's tweet, expressing his shock at Trump's threat. "As a UC regent, I'm appalled at your willingness to deprive over 38,000 students access to an education because of the actions of a few," Newsom said. CBS reports UC Berkeley Police Chief Margot Bennett told reporters, "I do not believe our students were involved in the vandalism and the violent behavior that occurred. This was a group of agitators who were masked up, throwing rocks, commercial-grade fireworks, and Molotov cocktails at officers." International Business Times says, according to reports, the protests were peaceful until a group of several dozen black-face, mask-clad activists showed up. Soon, videos showed them shooting fireworks at the building and smashing windows. Such a physically confrontational approach characterizes Antifa and separates it from the organic protests that have sprung up in the wake of Trump's inauguration as president. Milo Yiannopoulos ascribed the violence to the general left. CBS says Yiannopoulos posted on his Facebook page that he was safe and blamed the demonstrators. "I have been evacuated from the UC Berkeley campus after violent left-wing protesters tore down barricades, lit fires, threw rocks and Roman candles at the windows, and breached the ground floor of the building," the Post read. "One thing we do know for sure, the left is absolutely terrified of free speech and will do literally anything to shut it down." Why is the Republican Party so in love with Milo Yiannopoulos? Milo Yiannopoulos spins and twists information into social political forms that are appreciated by conservative capitalist Christians in the United States of America. Yiannopoulos says the global Antifa political violence movement is simply the general left, which he knows is an absolute lie. That's why Republicans love the dangerous faggot so much. According to Bloomberg, Yiannopoulos says being a gay Republican reinstates the illicitness that homosexuality has lost. Maybe that's why Republicans love Milo Yiannopoulos so much. Summit City Noise presents Sorry for the Republican Rape Rap, featuring MNC-FM and WOWO AM host Casey Hendrickson. Republican Indiana Governor Mike Pence says, outside of the United States, China represents the largest economy in the world. Today, we see immense potential for the creation of more great jobs for Hoosiers through the strengthening of ties with our Chinese partners. Our universities and our communities already boast a thriving friendship with China, and we're looking forward to strengthening this relationship on our jobs mission. Republican Party presidential candidate Donald Trump has taken his rhetoric about China to a new level, accusing the country of raping the U.S. "We can't continue to allow China to rape our country," he told a crowd in Fort Wayne, Indiana. "That's what they're doing. It's the greatest theft in the history of the world. Trump has previously used the word rape to describe trade ties with China. In 2011, the candidate had said China is raping this country while touring a defense manufacturing plant in New Hampshire. One of Donald Trump's most high-profile endorsements arrived this spring from Bobby Knight, the iconic and capricious former Indiana University basketball coach on the eve of the Indiana primary. Bob Knight, who famously told Connie Chung in 1988 that if rape is inevitable, relax and enjoy it, once again went to the well of sexual assault-themed metaphors on Mike and Mike. When speaking in regard to the NBA's age minimum rule and the subsequent one-and-done nature of big-time college basketball, Knight said, "It's as though they've raped college basketball, in my opinion." In the 2012 debate with his Democratic rival and a Libertarian candidate for one of Indiana's U.S. Senate seats, Republican candidate Richard Murdoch suggested that pregnancies resulting from rape are something that God intended to happen despite the horrible situation from which they derived. I struggled with it myself for a long time, but I came to realize life is that gift from God, Murdoch said, and I think even when life begins in that horrible situation of rape, that it is something that God intended to happen. On Facebook, MNC-FM and WOWO AM host Casey Hendrickson says he would rape Zonda Revolution from the rear. The Zonda Revolution is a super high-end automobile, people. Casey Hendrickson says he would rape a car from the rear. I shared Hendrickson's Zonda Revolution rape rap with his bosses at Federated Media, who promptly spanked Casey's rear and forced him to deliver a half-hearted apology on Facebook. Through his apology, Casey Hendrickson provides a fascinating glimpse into the thought patterns of a conservative capitalist Christian political entertainer who references rape on the radio on a regular basis. This was published on Facebook on March 5th, 2014. MNC-FM and WOWO AM host Casey Hendrickson says, "Yesterday, I posted a link to a car that I love with the comment, 'I would rape this car.' My intention was to convey that I really liked the car and didn't realize that it would be seen as offensive to some people. I would like to apologize to anyone who was offended by my post. It is an inanimate object. I felt it would be taken that way. It wasn't. I apologize." Real men know the difference between violent sexual assault and inanimate objects. Real men are not perpetually offended at everything like schoolgirls. I have a wife, mother, daughter, etc. I know rape very personally. Point is, rape is rape. A car cannot be raped. I expected that to be understood. Again, common sense died a long time ago. My mistake was assuming it was someone still around for one fleeting moment. I will be proud of you when you discover what real manhood really is. When Casey Hendrickson says, "I will be proud of you when you discover what real manhood is," he's talking about me, Dean Robinson. Casey Hendrickson anticipates feeling pride when Dean Robinson discovers real manhood. That's hilarious. MNC-FM and WOWO AM host Casey Hendrickson claims that saying, "I would rape this car," was a mistake because he was assuming it was someone still around for one fleeting moment. I'm not sure I know exactly what that statement means, but I'm still here, Casey, and our moment is still fleeting. Donald Trump, Bobby Knight, Richard Murdoch, and Casey Hendrickson, also known as the Sorry Four, lay down the rape rap on the regular to influence people with emotion rather than intellect. This has been Sorry For, the Republican Rape Rap, featuring MNC-FM and WOWO AM host Casey Hendrickson, brought to you by Summit City Noise. The otherization, he's not like us. The otherization, he's not like us. I know it's a heavy thing to say, I don't say it lightly, but this is niggerization. This is niggerization.
Lots of people want freedom. freedom of speech, but without the fences. Many people want to tell you the truth without the consequences. Whistleblowers snitch, informants get rich, selling information. Freedom of speech is no day at the beach when you're a web sensation. Niggerization. Say the N-word, y'all. We got a pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Niggerization. Say the Bisco, y'all. We got a pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Bradley the man. Manning with a plan to up and join the army. Now it's safe to assume he's the man of the room. We're talking solitary. A pledge to defend and be loyal to the end. He said goodbye to that way. Now he can't be with his man. His name is Julianne. WikiLeaks tears. Cry baby. Ow, it's all this niggerization. Say the N-word, y'all. We got a pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Niggerization. Shout for Nike, y'all. We got a pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Niggerization. Say the N-word, y'all. We got a pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Niggerization. Shout for Nike, y'all. We got a pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. Pussy riot. The otherization, he's not like us. The otherization, he's not like us. I know it's a heavy thing to say, I don't say it lightly, but this is niggerization. This is niggerization. This is niggerization.